Jaiya Figueras, Oregon safety, 93 through 97.
He truly cares. Not everybody truly cares. The guy really cares about a lot of things and really wants to change people's lives.
He could break something and tape it up, or not tape it and still play. That was Jai.
In the right place at the right time, and would compete his ass off.
A chip on the shoulder. Jai was one of the guys that was mad that USC and UCLA didn't recruit him, and he played with that chip on his shoulder.
Jai he was scrappy. He was this hard-nosed, scrappy guy that he'd run through a wall, he'd jump over a wall.
Almost every Oregon player should hear his story. Because of his ups and downs and the type of person he is today. I love the guy.
The reason I chose to go to University of Oregon is, number one, it was Pac-10. Number two, it came down between Washington State and Oregon, and it was closer to LA than Pullman. And that's pretty much what it came down to, was just distance. My first impression of Eugene was when I got out of the plane. I smelled the air. The air was so clean. I wasn't used to smelling air so clean and crisp, and I could immediately sense that I was in a different place. But just the air, number one. Number two, just how calm it was. I was used to LA and traffic and people honking horns, and it was just a lot faster. Just the pace, everything just slowed down. So when I got to Eugene, I learned how to slow down, how to be calm, how to be still. And I mean, it helps me now. Actually, everywhere I go, anytime I'm in a calm place, I always say, oh, this reminds me of Eugene. This is just like University of Oregon. Well, it took me about probably half the season. The speed and the quickness of the receivers. I mean, I go from playing high school football to all of a sudden being on the scout team and guarding Christian McLemore, who still, by far, I think, is the greatest route runner at the University of Oregon ever, because he was just so crisp and clean. And in fact, even when I train wide receivers and football players now, I still take from what I learned from him, and that was 20 years ago. So that was a challenge, dealing with the quickness of the receivers. And another thing that was a challenge was dealing with the cut block. I wasn't used to having to play cut blocks before in high school. So all of a sudden I had to start playing the cut block, guys going for my knees. I wasn't used to that either. We started off 1-2. We got booed off the field in Autzen. And after we got booed off the field, we kind of all banded together. We said, we had a meeting just with ourselves. We're not going to play for the media. We're not going to play for the fans. We're just going to play for ourselves, And that was kind of the turning point, was getting booed off the field in Autzen. But I think also what was a big turning point for us was how hard we worked in two-a-days that year. Because anybody that was on that 94 team, they remember how long two-a-days lasted with Coach Brooks. Like, there was a time where we thought it was going to be our last day of two-a-days. So we're kind of all dragging through practice, trying to act, feeling sorry for ourselves, and, thinking like Coach is going to say, oh, well, these guys, it's about time, we should probably stop it now. And I remember Coach, getting so pissed off at us at the end of practice. You're not done. We're not done yet. And he had us do this one extra drill because we were being like lazy and feeling sorry for ourselves. And I remember running through the drill, and he's like, today's not the last day of two-a-days. Tomorrow's not going to be the last day of two-a-days, and neither will the next day. And I just remember, oh man, in our minds, we're like, oh my God, this is like incredible. What the hell is he doing? But I think that two-a-days combined with getting booed off the field. Because when we got booed off the field, we were thinking to ourselves, we didn't just bust our ass all that time just to be booed off the field. And we're not going to have another season like the year before when they had a 35-point lead on Cal with all that talent. They had talent on that team that didn't win a lot of games. We didn't want to be like those guys. So we wanted to separate ourselves. Before that season even started, me and Kenny had gone to a basketball game against UCLA. And I think it was Kenya Wilkins might have hit a game. He might have hit a game winner, like at the buzzer, a 3-pointer. And they ended up winning the game at the buzzer. Everybody stormed the court, and it was like it was just crazy. And me and Kenny were just sitting in the stands, and we're saying, you know what, we're going to do that. We're going to do that next year. That's what we're going to do next year. And we were serious. Everything that me and Kenny talked about, it happened. But we said that with so much sincerity, and we were so serious about it, like we believed it. And the exact same thing happened in the Washington game. At home, Kenny makes his pick. Same thing, they rushed the field. But what the Washington game did for Oregon, and I think I might have heard maybe like the former president of University of Oregon talk about it, was it made us start to believe. It made us start to believe in ourselves. We can do this. We can win. Why do we have to get on the field and all of a sudden think we got to lose because we're playing such Washington or USC,
Right.
or UCLA? Like, we started to believe in ourselves. Well, the year before I had Chad Cota in front of me, I was ready to play. The year before, at least halfway through the season, in my mind, I was ready to start. But Chad Cota was awesome. And that's one of the reasons that I was able to step in '95 and play how I played, is because I watched him for 2 years. I sat back and had to watch him for 2 years just to learn how to play right. But that week, the Illinois week, I started off. On Monday, I was third string. On Monday, I was third string. We had our starter get hurt on Monday, then I was second string by Tuesday. On Saturday, our first string got hurt in the third quarter, and then I became the starter. And within one quarter, I ended up, coach called a great play, blitzed in, sacked the quarterback, ball flew up, scored a touchdown. ESPN top 10 plays on Saturday night. Monday, third string. Saturday night, ESPN top 10 plays. And what I learned from that is, even when I was third string, in my mind, I believe if they call me, I'm ready to go. I'm ready. I know all my stuff. I know all my assignments. I'm ready to go. And when they called me, I was ready to go. So, ended up starting the next week at UCLA. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, All-American. Cade McNown's first game. He lit our secondary up that game.
It's a great game.
Yeah, it was a great game. And I ended up making that play. In the end zone. They barely missed. He barely missed the end zone by that much. Then won, 2 weeks in a row, made the winning play, 2 weeks in a row. Next game against Stanford, broke my leg. Both. I was in crutches for 6 months, so I didn't put weight on my leg for 6 months. And that was difficult, just going through campus on crutches. Being in a cast all the time, having to take a shower a certain way. So that was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was difficult because Kenny was able to shut down an entire half of the field. And if we'd be playing in a zone defense, he would tell me, don't worry about me, just go and play on the other side. He'd say that in the game. So to have someone that could shut down the whole side as a free safety, now that allows me I can cheat over to the other side and make more plays. and I never had to make up for his mistakes, you know. So not having him there, you know, we had a freshman, Rashad Bowman, played awesome. He was a freshman, you know. We just had a lot of young guys. We had a lot of young guys that year, and we weren't all clicking. Yeah, we definitely, I think that year, you know, our defense was terrible that year, but we balled out that game. You know, everybody, we had a good scheme that game. Air Force, I think one of the things that really helped us out is, like, we heard that Air Force was mad that we were picked to play against them. They wanted to play against a better team. And when we did finally play them, it was like, it wasn't even really like a challenge for us, because athletically we were faster, we were bigger. Like, I mean, it wasn't even, you know, the Pac-10 conference, after playing in the Pac-10 conference and then going against Air Force, it wasn't even. When people think about Jaiya Figueras, I just want them to know that I helped guys believe. Because that's one of the things that I'd always encourage guys to believe in themselves and believe in the team, and, you know, we can do this. Back when nobody believed in us, back when they were losing all the games, back in 1993, I remember I was constantly like, man, we should be winning right now. You gotta. And I just remember, you know, a lot of the seniors just looking at me, just shaking their heads, you know. But just, you know, I believe just people will remember me as a motivator. After college, moved to New York. I was going to go to law school. Could have went to the CFL after college. I said, no, you know what, had too much pride. I should only be in the NFL. I'm going to move to New York, go to law school. Ended up, you know, I was a law clerk, had to wear a suit and briefcase, take the train. I was like, what the hell am I got to go to the CFL. And 1 year away from the game was like being 5 years away from the game. When I finally got to Canada, game was fast. Game was a lot faster than I had been practicing. You know, I practiced against air, thought I'd go and play basketball. It just wasn't the same. Didn't realize how great a coaching that I had at the University of Oregon. Took it for granted. Thought that I could just take off a year and do my own thing and I'd be fine. Anyways, tried out again a year after. Went to Canada, got released. Ended up being a high school teacher for 3 years. Tried out again, trained everything, ran 4.6, did good, no agent. Finally gave it up. Actually, Damon Griffin was my agent for a second. Gave that up, and I think now it's the year 2000. So since the year 2000 to 2013, I've been doing health and fitness. Now owner of Epic in Signal Hill. I'm one of 3 owners here, along with Kim Idio, Rick Mosley. Basically, we just do a lot of the same stuff we did at Oregon, help people, you know, overcome obstacles, you know, achieve the seemingly impossible. And then we also have a off-season football program that we're training kids with. Got some of the top young talent in Long Beach, and we also do SAT prep and tutoring for them. And we also partnered up with Damon Griffin and Integrity Sports, and we do exposure for all the kids. So in my mind, it's kind of like a one-stop shop. If we could get a kid, you know, we could give him strength and conditioning, we can tutor him, and then we give him exposure too.